We acquired the Hahler property, which is back behind the Mid-Plains Community College, and then obviously the golf course. And then we've got two other properties along Halligan. And I think it behooves the city to grow in that area because of you've got a lot of things going for it down there with the accessibility of the interchanges and the visibility from the interstate. What we would plan to do in our area, obviously along Halligan Road on the properties that we own, and then the other ones that we don't, is to help facilitate commercial development along Halligan Road. Back behind in those other main part of the properties, doing more of a mixed use housing component, senior living, apartments, single family housing, and recreation. The game plan would be to put a golf cart or pedestrian bridge over the canal, connect that with the West Hahler property of Pat Keenan's, and then that might facilitate more stuff for him to do commercial stuff over there, and then the residential component of that whole area would be in this area. I've met with some community leaders and some of the city people on how best can we develop that into a recreational area and combine that with the residential area in there, so you kind of have the best of both worlds: hike and bike trails and accessibility to the river, accessibility to the canal in that tail race area. So now once we can get this blighted, and I can take that back out to the marketplace and try and recruit a senior living, that would probably be the anchor tenant in there. Then obviously also the multifamily, and then working into different components. One thing on this, it's a big piece of property, and we're gonna have to do it in components for this, and different investment groups and that sort. But I think one of the big things too that would be cool in this area would be the commercial development along Halligan, to kind of continue that by the Jansen car dealership and all that stuff around there. Great visibility from the interstate to bring in and get people off that I-80 corridor.
You mentioned the pedestrian bridge over the canal, so that would go from the subject property that's being suggested to be blighted and substandard over to other property that's not in the study. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, and I've met with Pat Keenan, and he's supportive of that. Mm-hmm. And willing to assist in the design and the interface between how we can collaborate down in those areas, and make sure what's best for the community, and rather than have two different developers, different things and competing, we've kind of got an understanding of what I think and what he thinks is best for that area, to continue it off from Dunkin' Donuts going over into his property, and how to interface that hike and bike trail. I've had a meeting with the hike and bike trail committee, and they've got a lot of interest in how to continue that. Yeah.
The property on the west side of the canal is not in this study.
Correct, because it's already blighted.
What's the current situation for developers? TIF is a must. Is this
a must?
Something that can happen without it?
No, it absolutely can't happen without it. We've done a lot of development across the state, and we have not done one development project without TIF. Years and years ago, cities used to build the roads and the utilities and the paving and the storm water and the sewer and the water. Now that's left up to the developer. And there's no way, if we have to do that, we couldn't. The cost for any land or do any development would be so exorbitant, you couldn't do nothing. Come to Grand Island and look at Prairie Commons, it enables us to do nicer things, to make it a community improvement. We've got landscaped medians, landscaped roundabouts, detention ponds with fountains in them, and things like that. It allows you to develop at a level that people want to be a part of. And I think what we want to do, and Chief, the only way we want to do a development is to do it right. We're not going to go in there and cut corners and that stuff. We just soon not do it. If we're not going to be a good community partner, and it's got to be win-win for the community,